I am Jojen Mathew, Principal, GVM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education, Ponda, Goa. Today, I'll be talking to you about a very important topic, that is choosing a satisfying career. Choosing a satisfying career is one of the most important decisions that a student has to take in his life. Now, what is satisfying career means? Satisfying careers are careers that employ a person's interest and ability and suit his or her personality and preferences. Now, the combination of interests, abilities, aptitudes, personality traits, and experiences that makes us as individuals also fits us for certain kind of work. Now, there are many factors that we have to take into consideration when we want to choose a satisfying career. Now, one of the most important factor is aptitude. So, aptitude is one of the most important factors that the student has to consider when he chooses a satisfying career. Aptitude is a word that has been derived from aptos, that means fitted for. Now, when you go for some courses like engineering, medicine, there is an entrance test. Now, that entrance test is actually an aptitude test. An aptitude test will predict the future achievement of the child. So, before you select a particular career or a course, it is always advisable to go for an aptitude test. Now, aptitudes can be developed into abilities through training. Now, the other important factor that a student has to consider is interest. Now, when you talk about interest, you have to differentiate between a temporary excitement and a lasting interest. Money, everybody is doing it. What your parents want you to do, what someone else has done, your hero has done, your favorite player has done, will only work for you only if you have the proper potential. Now, if it is just a temporary excitement, you are not going to succeed in your life and you are not going to have a satisfying career. So, you have to take into consideration your aptitude, you have to take into consideration your interest. And the third one is the most important one, that is about your personality characteristics. Now, when you talk about personality characteristics, you should think of your mental characteristics, your grades, your marks, and your social traits. That means whether you want to be a person who would be always be with a group or being alone. Your physical traits, your health, that also matters very much if you are going into a vocation like military or army or something like that. See, it's very important that you have to consider your character traits, whether you are ambitious, whether you can work under pressure, whether you have a sympathetic or helping mentality. Now, all these factors are very important when you choose a satisfying career. Now, psychologists have classified people into different groups. Now, you can just see here a grouping given here, the conventional personality type. Now, if you are a conventional personality type, you will enjoy activities that are rule regulated, like finance, accounting, banking, insurance, etc. will be good for you. Now, if you are an enterprising personality type, you will be able to influence others. So, such a person can go into administrative services, law, public relations, business management, etc. If you are an artistic personality type, you can go into arts, drawing, painting, music, etc. If you are a mechanical personality type person, you can go into mechanical, engineering, technical jobs. Now, if you are an investigative personality type, you can go into research and things like that. And then if you are a social personality type, you will like interpersonal interaction. So, for you, service professions like international affairs, foreign service, etc. will be suitable for them. So, now we will see one of the very important factors or the process by which the careers are usually chosen. Now, there are different theories of career choice. See, there is a developmental theory, and this theory says that there are different stages in the occupation choice. The first stage is the fantasy choice stage, 6 to 11 years. Now the student will think of an activity which will give him or her pleasure. Now, when I was conducting a career guidance program, I asked the students a question that what they wanted to be when they were very small. So when they were very small, maybe between 6 and 11 years, one of the students said that he wanted to be a peon. I asked why you wanted to be a peon. He said that because only peons can ring the bell. So at this level, the student will think of an activity that will give him or her some pleasure. And the second stage, it says a tentative choice stage, that is between 12 to 16 years. Now, because these changes are not permanent, we call this stage as a tentative choice stage. So this stage also, the students will be able to take only some tentative choices. Now coming to the realistic choice stage, that is after 17 years and above, the student will be able to make a more wiser and a more stable choice. Now we will just look at the scientific way of choosing a career. Now there are three important things. One is a person should have as complete an understanding of himself or herself as possible. Now, in order to understand a person completely by himself, what he can do is he can do a self-analysis. Now, self-analysis will always be subjective. So, what the student can do is the student can do a more objective analysis by asking teachers, parents, relatives, and other well-wishers. But this will also have some subjective element. So it is always better that the child goes and asks a professional or to a professional counselor. If you go, that person will be able to test your aptitude and interest and will be able to tell you exactly whether the career or the choice that the course that you want to choose is right for you or not. Now, the second point for choosing a career is the person should have as complete a knowledge of an occupation as possible. Now, how is it possible that we can know about occupations? Now, we can know more about different occupations from books. Of course, there are a wide variety of books available on career guidance, and you will be surprised to know the number of jobs and occupations that are available. If I ask you to name some of the occupations, you will be able to name only a few. But if you go through some of these books and encyclopedias, you will find that there are thousands of occupations, and you can get a lot of idea about these occupations, what requirements are there, and where you can do that particular course, etc. So it is worth buying a book on career than spending money on many other things. As a student, you should also you should be able to get some books, and you should be able to read on various careers. Number two, that you can have a complete knowledge of an occupation is that you can ask some of the people who are in the field. See, if you have some friends or some of your friends, relatives or parents, they are in that particular area, you can go and ask them, and then you will get some more idea about that particular occupation or the course that you want to pursue. Now, the third thing is that you can have some personal experience. That means you can do an internship. See, these days, all students, they are asked to do internship, especially at graduation level and all that. So you can go for an internship, and you can exactly, get to know about that particular career. Nothing can beat your, experience. So it is better that you go and find out about that particular career which you want to choose from your first-hand experience. So a person should have as complete an understanding of himself or herself as possible. Number two, a person should have as complete a knowledge of an occupation as possible. And number three is that the person should have an ability to match what he possesses and what is required. See, one side you know about your aptitude, interest, ability, and on the other side you know what are the requirements of that particular profession. Then what is required is that you have to match between the two, and you will be able to choose the most satisfying or the most suitable career for you. See, the last thing I just want to tell you is about some of the common mistakes in career choice. See, choosing an occupation without appropriate abilities and personality makeup. Now, there may be many reasons why people choose occupations. See, when you go for a course, you may say that, okay, my friends are going for it, so I am also going for it. Actually, that is a mistake. Before you join a particular course, you should find out whether you have the aptitude for that course or not. So, if you choose a course or an occupation without an appropriate ability or aptitude, then you will be the most unsatisfied person in your life. So, always make sure that before choosing a course or a career, that you have the appropriate aptitude and abilities. Number two, choosing an occupation for its glamour. Now, sometimes, students may say that, okay, I want to go for this particular career or that particular career because, they see a lot of things on TV and things like that. Such people who are, cinema stars and things like that, but they may not have the aptitude for it. So, we should not choose an occupation because of its glamour, but you have to see whether you have the aptitude or interest for choosing that particular career. Finally, choosing an occupation on the influence of others. Now, this is another mistake that people make, because sometimes even parents tell their children that, son or daughter, I didn't have money, I wanted to pursue this particular career. See, now I got money, why not you pursue that particular career? But we have to tell lovingly to our parents that before joining a particular course, you have to make sure whether you have the aptitude and interest for that. If you don't have the aptitude and interest, and if you pursue that career because of the influence of others, then you will be the most unsatisfied person. Now, we have seen that how to choose a satisfying career. The most important thing is that you have to find out about your potential. If you don't have the potential ability, if you don't have the aptitude, then you are not supposed to join a particular course or a career, and you will never be able to have a satisfied life. We have seen some of the important components like aptitude, interest, ability, personality, etc. We have also seen the three important things. That is, number one, a person should have as complete an understanding of himself or herself as possible. Number two, the person should have as complete an understanding of the occupation of the course that he or she wants to choose. Number three, an ability to match between the two. And this is the process of actually finding out a career, suitable career or a satisfying career. Thank you very much.